36 today.
You don't look 36.
This is the biggest moment of your life. Now, which one are you just pregnant?
Tell me about the first read you did. Did you feel like a married couple?
We have always spoken about what Jack and Rebecca are going through and making sure that we're honoring this couple who's going through a lot, experiencing a lot. It kind of feels like a real marriage on TV and in the partnership of what we do on set. So it's very easy.
Yeah, we approach our jobs the same way. Like, we're very communicative. We really like to break down the work and like be on the same page and go over like in hair and makeup all the time. We're just like obviously going through lines and whatnot. But it was pretty seamless, like walking in for the chemistry read with Milo. I had gotten a heads up that Milo was the favorite, and there were a couple of girls and a couple of guys, and we were all sort of mixed and matched and reading with one another, but I had heard through the grapevine that Milo was like the guy to beat. And so I went in and read with him, and he was the only guy that I read with, and I was like, I hope this is a good sign, but it was immediately so comfortable. And
it was also undeniable. Like, I mean, I'm in there, and like Mandy said, there were a couple guys and girls, and when Mandy walked in, and it was just a beautiful performance.
I don't like sleeping far away from you. No more drinking.
You can't just stop.
I can't. For you, I can't. I will.
was there right away,
right in the
like,
beginning,
with us, which is, as actors, it's like, it's our job a lot of times to like have to mine for that chemistry, but sometimes you really luck out.
She just
and
liked
it's
me.
right there on the surface.
I got very lucky.
Yeah, it was great.
Let's talk about that first conversation when you had about figuring out the different time periods and the different facial hair and hairstyle.
Something that was really important to me was to help Mandy and Milo and the other cast members feel really comfortable, so that they really are able to feel like, yes, I'm Jack in his 40s, or Mandy, like, yeah, I'm having these babies and I've got, it's 1989, and it was really important to also have the makeup look very realistic. It wasn't a cartoonish version of that period, so it had to look appropriate for their characters. She's a mom at home. She's not going to look like a beauty ad from the 1980s. So, we really had to translate that well in the makeup as well as we were doing it. And then as we moved forward in the age makeup process, we did lots and lots of testing. Poor Mandy.
How long does it take to get that?
It's about, we've gotten it down to about a 3.5-hour process for hair and makeup. Michael Wrights, our hairdresser, does an amazing job with all the wigs that Mandy wears and hair pieces for Milo. And we try to make it fun. Mandy has the most appliances. She wears 12 appliances on her face, very small prosthetics, and age are all over from her forehead, chest, and hands and legs if we see them. So it's quite extensive, and she's amazing. And it's a long removal process to about an hour or so. With Milo, we referred to it as Beardgate.
Yeah, beard or mustache. Yeah.
We had a lot of dialogue with Dan, the creator, about how we were going to have this transition for Milo and have a different look for him in each period. And at some point, Milo had this beautiful beard that he grew for the pilot that we had to shave off, and we were shaved half his face.
We basically got permission to shave a mustache, which was like, okay, cool. It's going to be bearded Jack in the early 80s, mustachio Jack in the late 80s, and then 90s we'll worry about when we get to it. Turns out to be a goatee. But Zoe was also building the beard that I was going to wear once I shaved down to just a mustache. And we were in the effects house because she was going to do a casting of my face so she can build the beard off of my actual chin. And we got one clip through, and we heard an assistant at the effects house go, wait.
Too late.
And literally it was just like one half through, and then it turned into like a bunch of nerves, and Dan Fogelman walking around the production office asking the female staff, like, hey, do you guys
like Milo with a mustache?
or not?
Yeah, he kept asking me.
Yeah.
I was like, he's totally sexy with just a mustache. It's great, Dan.
And I kept reminding Dan, I said, your writing is so good and the stories are so good and people are going to love these characters so much, everyone's going to forget about a mustache or age makeup or anything like that in the first 2 seconds of seeing it. It may be jarring, but once they invest, they're going to get right past it. And, you know, that's the beautiful thing about Zoe and our entire hair and makeup team is, you know, everything's very seamless and beautiful and looks real.
Gary, you also have to deal with time periods, and usually in every episode there's present time and then there's one moment in past, but there's been exceptions like episode 7. It was present at also like 4 different times we saw Rebecca in Jack's house. How did you pull that off and how hard is it?
So the art department would have to go in and turn over the house overnight. So we'd have to reschedule our crew and our lives to get the sets done when they were scheduled for.
I mean, we'd literally be on set in Jack and Rebecca's kitchen in 1996, and the next time we're in it, it's a construction zone, and I've got to walk through it in the 80s, like the early 80s, before Jack and Rebecca even owned the house. It is remarkable. When he says there's a turnaround crew that's going in, they really are busting their asses, and it's to get it from even amazingly well done to complete decimation. It takes a team, and the team is incredible.
It takes a lot of planning. It's also hard to find the raw materials these days to go back to the 70s, because you'll find all high-end materials like a high-end couch or chair. But every day, Dan from the beginning wanted a very blue-collar look to this family. And in order to do that, we have to have everyday furnishings. And it's not very easy to go out there and find such furnishings. We're always scouring Craigslist and prop houses and where we can find a couch in halfway decent condition.
What about filming here in sunny California and for East Coast? And we had Thanksgiving episodes and winter episodes.
Thanksgiving
and
episode where
Christmas
all the grass
episode.
was green and the trees are
Did you-
green and, you know.
Did you
I'm
digitally
like,
remove palm trees usually? Like what?
yeah, there's a small digital budget for removing the palm trees, but the grass that's not in our budget range. So, and we shot that scene up in Griffith Park, and there are paints. I've painted grass before. I've painted it green, I've painted it brown, but Griffith Park will not let you touch their grass. So we just had to live with it, and when that episode airs, I usually am at a bar somewhere.
Bjorn, I don't know if people know, but you're a professional jazz musician. And why did you transition into editing? And tell me about how your background influences your work, and especially in episodes like Memphis, which was so music-driven.
Yeah, especially Memphis was a lot of fun for me for being able to cut music and picture. That's a lot of fun. And there was a big sequence there where the band is playing, and that was like very meticulously shot and designed, so and cut to the music.
Standing at the station, we don't know what to say. Looking out the window as you're rolling away.
Having a background in jazz is it opens me to kind of listen to the other musicians, listen to the actors, listen to everybody who's contributing to the episode. So you're very finely in tune to what people want to communicate.
We left you guys in a very dark place.
Yeah.
Anything you can tell us about what's next for Jack and Rebecca?
Milo always knows more than anybody. He's sort of our de facto leader. Like, he's our, for all of the actors. So I always turn to Milo and I'm like, what do you know? Spill the beans. Actually,
the best is I have a photo. I was telling Mandy tidbits of what I'd learned from Fogman over a dinner a couple days ago. And it was right as a photographer took a photo, and her face is priceless.
No.
I mean, what's to come? I think.
So what happened before that phase? Can you tell us?
I mean, I think
if you guys swear not to say anything. No.
Right. No, I mean, there's a lot happening for all of the Pearsons. Jack and Rebecca, of course, need to get their marriage on track because it's crumbled and fractured. And
I think some of the answers that people are looking for at least will be somewhat satisfied and satiated in the beginning of the next season, for sure.
Man, I was just about to give away a whole bunch of stuff, but man, he just saved me. TV wife saves me again.